Okay, we're continuing in the Kutimran, Torah Daled, Siman Vov, in the Kutimran Tinyana. Vizgalos HaRotzon Hu Ayidei Yomim Tovim. Now, to reveal the Rotzon, that Hashem's Rotzon, Hashem's desire is the only thing that rules in this world, and no one else or nothing else actually rules, except for Hashem's simple desire, whatever He wants, that's what happens. Ki kol echad hu ayidei yomim tovim. This happens, the revelation of Hashem's Ratzon is through the Yomim Tovim, through the festivals. Ki kol echad me'yomim tovim machriz v'kor u'megal es haratzon. Because every one of the Yomim Tovim calls out and announces and reveals the Ratzon of Hashem. How? Shekol misnaheg rak al yado al yidei Ratzon bevad. The Ratzon Hashem, meaning that everything is only through Hashem's Ratzon and not through nature. Bebechinas mikra kodesh. Shayom tov kodesh kore umachriz saratzon kanal. That the Yom Tov is called mikra kodesh, the calling, or really it's a time of kodesh, but also or a gathering of kodesh. And here it also means mikra kodesh, to call out the kodesh, to call out that it calls out the Ratzon, it calls out and announces that everything is through Hashem's Ratzon. Ki b'chol Yom Tov, this is how it works. Ki b'chol Yom Tov, asa Hashem yisbarach imanu usos neros. Because every single one of the Yom Tovim, the Hashem did amazing miracles with us. Shem hefech hateva, sheideze niskal haratzon. And each one of these miracles are the opposite of nature, and through breaking nature and through revealing and acting opposite of nature, through Hashem acting opposite of nature, He shows that He is in charge. And through this, the desire of Hashem is revealed. You can see clearly the desire of Hashem, because now when we go through nature, when we live in the framework of nature, we don't see a direct desire of Hashem. We don't seem to experience or relate to the fact that this is a direct desire of Hashem, that the world should be exactly in the way that it is. But when we see that Hashem changes the nature, changes the way that the world usually is, then we can see that this is obviously what Hashem wants, because this is what He's doing right now. We can see it. Even though be'emes, right now, in truth, right now when we live within nature, it's also completely the Ratzon of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and it's the desire of Hashem. But sometimes we don't see it. Sometimes it's not revealed to us. It's not being called out, and it's not being pointed out. And in the Yomim Tovim, it's being pointed out. When the miracles happen, we're going to say Vein Shum Chiyuv Teva Klal, and we see then during the Yom Tov that there's no obligation for nature to be the way it is or to do what it does. But Pesach Yetzias Mitzrayim, Shotzianu Mitzrayim B'osos Neros. We see in Pesach we have Yetzias Mitzrayim, when Hashem took us out of Mitzrayim with tremendous miracles. We had the 10 Makkos, we had the splitting of the sea, we had the revelations that all the Jews experienced on the sea. We had many other, throughout the whole time, many other miracles. Things were running in a very miraculous way. This is what we tell over in the story of the telling over Mitzrayim. And when we tell over the Sipur, the story of Yetzias Mitzrayim, we're reminding ourselves and we're announcing the fact that Hashem completely rules over the whole world. Sometimes He chooses to do miracles, and at that time it's revealed to us and clear to us that these miracles are Hashem, and Hashem, just like He can do miracles, He also is controlling the whole world and running every single aspect of our world. And also in Shavuos, another one of the Yom Tovim, when we had Kabbalas HaTorah and Shanosanos HaTorah B'osos Neros, that we received the Torah in amazing ways. And on Shavuos, again, we stay up all night, we learn Torah, reminding ourselves of the Kabbalas HaTorah. We also have other minhagim for Shavuos that the whole thing is reminding us of, and the Yom Tov itself obviously is reminding us that, it's reminding us that that Hashem gave us the Torah, and the Torah is obviously a miraculous thing. The giving of the Torah happened in a miraculous way, where the revelation was so great. It came with thunder and kolos ubrakim, with thunder and lightning, and it came in such a miraculous way, in such an intense way, that that many of the people died every time that Hashem revealed, every time he said one of the Sefer Dibros. Okay, Shenoslan as a Torah Osus Naros, and the Sukkos Hekef Ananei Kavod. In Sukkos we have the surrounding the Ananei Kavod that we're sitting in the Sukkos to remind us that Hashem surrounded us with the Ananei Kavod, with the clouds of glory that protected us from all the attackers and from all sorts of elements, outside elements, when we were walking through the desert. And when we sit in the sukkah, we're reminding ourselves, we're saying, this sukkah we've been doing for thousands of years in memory of, or to remind us of, the miracle of the Ananei Kavod. V'alkein, kol yom tov machriz v'kor es harotzon b'chinas mikra kodesh. In this way, every one of the Yom Tovim calls out and announces that the Ratzon of Hashem is the complete and only power in the world. And this is why the Yom Tov is called Mikra Kodesh. Mikra Kodesh means calling of Kodesh, or a time where Kodesh is being called, or a Kodesh time where it calls out and announces that the Ratzon of Hashem is the only Ratzon. And this is why the Yom Tov is called a regel. We have the Shalosh Regalim, the 3 legs. Why is it called legs? He's going to explain. Shi b'chinas yira. The regel is b'chin of yira kanal. Ki ayidei Yom Tov shu iskal saratzon ayidei zanasi yira kanal. One reason here, he's going to bring more reasons, that regel is a b'china of yira, as we mentioned before, and through the Yom Tov, Hashem reveals that Hashem's Ratzon is the only thing that rules in this world, and that brings us to fear, to yira of Hashem, to fear of Hashem, as we mentioned before. I think you explained before already how the legs are siba. Regel is called a siba. I guess we'll explain it again later, so it's okay. However, not always does a person hear the announcement of the Yom Tov, which reveals the Ratzon. It reveals the Ratzon of Hashem, that the Ratzon of Hashem is the only thing in existence. Now, we can see through the Simchas Yom Tov, through the amount that a person has Simchas Yom Tov, we can see how much we hear the voice of the Yom Tov, so to speak, calling us and reminding us of the fact that the Ratzon of Hashem is the only Ratzon. How does this work? Ki kol echad, lefi ma shemargish v'shomea, is kol hakriya shel Yom Tov, shemachriz v'kor haratzon, kamo chen yesh lo simchas Yom Tov. How does this work? Why is it that the happiness of Yom Tov, a person being happy on Yom Tov, is dependent directly on hearing the voice of the Yom Tov calling out and reminding us that Hashem's Ratzon is the only Ratzon in existence? How does this work? According to the amount that a person can feel and hear the call of Yom Tov, that the Yom Tov is really calling to us and telling us, reminding us, wake up, you should know that Hashem is the only Ratzon, Hashem's desire is the only desire, the only thing that actually controls the whole world. As a Yod, as a Yodim, because when we know that everything goes through everything is directly dictated by Hashem's Ratzon, then we know that all of our subjugation and all of our exiles, kol shibudim v'kol hagolus v'kol hachbalos shel akum shemachbidim aleinu al kulam Yinkom Bahem Huisbarach Vigalenu Miyadam. So then we can know, when we realize that Hashem is ruling everything, we can know that everything, all the gullus, all the exiles, and all the difficulties that we experience from the goyim, and from not just we could add here not just the goyim, but all of the evil powers. Here he's giving, could be the goyim as like an example. On a global scale we have the goyim, and on a personal scale we have the goyim, the Yetzer Hara, which is the epicursus that's inside of us. Shem machbidim aleinu al kulam yinkom behem hu yisbarach v'yigalenu miyadav. So on all of them, Hashem will take vengeance against them. He will destroy the Yetzer Hara in the end, and He will take vengeance against the goyim, and He will save us from them. So we're not going to be here forever, and there is justice in the world. So since we see that since Hashem is in charge of everything, we believe that Hashem will take vengeance against the goyim, and will destroy our personal Yetzer Hara also, and will bring us back to kedusha, complete kedusha, and He will redeem the nation of Israel and bring us back to Israel, and that makes us happy. That makes us feel okay with the situation the way it is. Meaning, I know that my little brother, or this person who's with me is beating me up now, but I know that I'm being watched, and everything will be taken care of in the end, and everything will be set straight in the end completely. So this knowledge that all the bad things that I'm going through now has a final end, and has a being set straight in the end, whether it's being set straight that He'll be punished, and being set straight that I will be rewarded, and that I'll be fixed up and taken care of in the end, that all will help me get through the difficulties, and that all will help me be happy with my situation, be happy with the difficulties that I'm going through now, and that brings to Simchas Yom Tov. That brings to being happy doing Yom Tov. When we feel that everything goes through nature, and everything is dictated only through cause and effect, and Hashem is not, we don't see Hashem active in our lives, in our world, there's no vengeance against them. They will not be taken. They will not be gotten back for what they do to us, since everything is only through cause and effect. If a person feels like that, chas v'shalom, and then a person won't be happy with the situation, especially with the situation the way it is now. And we, as in general, as Jews, we're in Gullus, we are in exile, both in our land and outside of our land, and we're not able to live the way we really are supposed to live. Jews are supposed to live in complete holiness, where all of our surroundings also should be holy. We shouldn't have to be in the streets amongst immodest people. We shouldn't have to be involved with their communications and their, like when a person goes onto the internet, chas v'shalom, if he needs to do such a thing, he shouldn't have to see their advertisements. This is something that a Jew should not have to be involved in. On top of that, obviously we still have anti-Semitism. Some places it's worse, some places it's better, and sometimes it's worse, sometimes it's better. But there's still that certainly still exists. In even in Yerushalayim, in Eretz Yisrael, we still have we have a different type of anti-Semitism. We have anti-religious, where we are being fought against, sometimes on purpose and sometimes not so on purpose, to that are the practices that we have to practice we're being held back. Often the non-religious will do immodest things on purpose, or sometimes they come into our place and they do immodest things, and all these things are gullus, that we're in exile. Even in our land, we're not able to purify ourselves and to live in purity as much as we really should be. And this is all some of the main parts of gullus. The fact that we're not able to be as pure and as holy as we should be because of our surroundings, and because of the things that we have to deal with every day. A person who lives in Israel or in America, we have to go to the store, we have to see immodest things, or even if we choose not to see, it's still something that's around us. Sometimes bad music or other things that are very, very hard to avoid completely. You know, something that it's something that's some of the main part of our goals. When we have the Gula, we'll be completely surrounded. Everything will be modest. Everything will be tznius, and we'll be able to learn properly. We won't have negative effects the way we do now. Negative influences from outside, and these are some of the things that we're going to get when we have the Gula. And Hashem will bring this all to us, and there will be retribution. There is a din and cheshbon. There's a calculation. In Shamayim, there's a big computer that checks everything and that watches everything. We're being watched very carefully, and they are also being watched. Those people who cause religion and Hashem to be downplayed, as we're going to see. We're gonna see that the discussion, the whole battle of Goliath and David HaMelech was a battle about this, about whether science and whether nature is in charge, and we could do whatever we want, and we should do whatever we want, and we should not believe in Hashem, or whether we should believe in Hashem. We're going to see how that connects later on. We'll try to finish up here first. So when a person realizes that everything is completely in the hands of Hashem, and Hashem is watching everything, Hashem's here. Sometimes He decides not to intervene. That's okay. He could do whatever He sees fit. But as long as I know that He's here and He's running everything, then I can experience the happiness of knowing that I'm close to Hashem, the happiness of knowing that everything that's happening is completely run by Hashem, just like the miracles of the Yom Tovim are completely run by Hashem. So this is the main point that we have to know. Just like Hashem does the miracles, just like Hashem did the miracles on the Shalosh Regalim during the three main festivals, so too Hashem runs the world completely, and there's no such thing as Teva, there's no such thing as nature. Nature does not have to happen if it weren't for the fact that Hashem dictates, Hashem wants it to happen exactly the way it does. And even that Hashem, arranges all the pieces exactly in nature and controls nature to happen exactly how it's supposed to happen, exactly for us, specifically for our situation. And there is no real complete nature. Hashem runs the world completely and decides every little detail and how we will be affected by it. And He makes it look like it's going to be nature. He makes it look to us, in a sense, like there is some type of thing called nature, like it is, like you drop a ball and it falls down and hits the ground every single time. That's the way Hashem wants it to look. But be'emes, just like He surrounded us with a nanei kavod, and He protected us from all the nations, so too, and continuously we're being protected. The Gemara speaks about how the Goyim all the time, they sit down and they try to plot against the Jewish people, and their plots, for some strange reason, so to speak, for the way they see it, are foiled. And they continue to plot, and their plots continue to be ruined. And they plot all sorts of things to hurt the Jewish people, destroy the Jewish people. Hashem watches over us. Hashem makes sure that everything comes to us exactly the way it's supposed to come to us. And we have nothing to worry about. In that sense, that Hashem is completely in charge, and just like the Yom Tovim were completely miraculous, so too every day is completely miraculous. This is the main, and this brings to fear of Hashem. We have to know that we are being watched, and everything is being taken down, and everything has a complete and exact calculation and cheshbon, and we're going to have to pay for bad things that we do, and we'll certainly get rewarded for the good things that we do.